Hello everyone. I do hope you're all keeping well in the year 2020, the first year of the clown decade. For a Monday, this was going pretty well until I saw a couple of pictures online. I suppose that's what I deserve for going on the internet, but just take a look at these. Yes, these are a pair of digital billboards put up by the police department in Merseyside. For those of you who are not from Britain, Merseyside is an area in the northwest where Liverpool is located. One of the most Labour strongholds you can probably find in the country outside of London. And as you can see, they are dedicated to telling us about hate crime. And as you can see, they say, hate crime. A crime against sex workers. Well, it is Liverpool. Sexual orientation, disability, gender identity, race, ethnicity, nationality, religion, faith or belief. Come and speak to hashtag Team Beb. I don't know what Team Beb is, and I don't particularly want to find out. And as you can see on the left, they have a pride flag, and that is because in the UK we are currently going through LGBT History Month. As we have our Black History Month in October in the UK, whereas I know in the US, right now you are in the middle of Black History Month, and I hope you're enjoying it. And unfortunately that wasn't the worst thing that they put up. If it was, I wouldn't care too much about it, but they also had this billboard. Being offensive is an offence, and this picture's so bad that I can't really see the rest of it. But just that one saying alone has put me a bit on edge. And obviously when this was put up on Twitter, there was a lot of backlash to this. Because as usual for the UK, the Merseyside police looked like they were policing thought crime, and it was very Orwellian, and obviously quite a lot of people in the UK do not like that, especially on Twitter. Assuming they're not part of the leftist bubble, of course. But I shan't be covering that, as a lot of other people will do that anyway, and you know the score by now if you watch my videos. Instead, what I want to go through is some more information when it comes to Merseyside's take on hate crimes. So on Friday the 19th of February on Instagram stories, because the police are very serious in Merseyside, they had Alan McKeon, the Sergeant Community Policing Officer, and Rachel Roberts, the Hate Crime Coordinator, and I can't for the life of me find any more information on either of them. Probably because who cares about Merseyside. So in the tweet it says, unique and united. At Merseyside Police we will not tolerate hashtag hate crime of any kind and we are here to help. Events. Friday 19th of Feb. Social media Q&A on Instagram. Saturday the 20th of Feb. At Merseyside Police Wirral, officers will be where you shop. At J1 Retail Park, 11 AM to 12 PM, and Grand Range Road at 1 PM to 4 PM. And that, I assume, is where the billboards came up, as they came up a day after this event. So naturally, because the police seem to like getting activists into their own institutions, this went about as well as you could possibly expect. So, graphic number 1. What is a hate crime? A hate crime is any incident, which may or may not be a crime, that the victim or any other person perceives to be motivated by hostility or prejudice towards any aspect of a person's identity. And these includes the things you see on the billboard. In Merseyside, we monitor an additional strand, which is offences against sex workers, because they seem to have a lot of sex workers in Merseyside for some reason. But also that seems pretty clear-cut and dry. According to this police officer in this Q&A, a hate crime is any incident which may or may not be a crime. That's that is ridiculous, and absolutely anything that is considered a crime and then straight after it is said, oh, it might not be a crime, that needs to get enough backlash to push them out of this mindset. Because at that point, you can be charged for a crime for doing any arbitrary thing. So graphic number 2, how should I report a hate crime? And essentially, you report a hate crime in the same way you report any crime. You call 101 if it's not an emergency. If the crime's happening now, you call 999. You can apparently also, though, DM Merpol CC, or Merseyside Police Constable Constabulary, I assume that is. Or you can go through the website using True Vision, which are new ways that I've just found out about how you can commit crime. I didn't realise that Twitter was now the internet equivalent of 101, but there we go. But this bit was also interesting. In addition to contacting the police, hate crime can be reported to Stop Hate UK. The easiest way to do this is via their website, stophateuk.org. Stop Hate UK also offer an interpreter service for victims who cannot speak English, and also offer a facility for hate crime to be reported via British Sign Language, because not doing so would probably be a hate crime, or a hate incident, though apparently they're crimes now as well. And for those that don't know, Stop Hate UK is an activist organisation, who, in case you couldn't tell from 1, the context, and 2, the name, they are about to try and put an end to hate crime, and they are the reason, well, part of the reason I should say, that hate incidents are now probably considered a crime to the Merseyside police, and the fact that they are recorded at all. And the problem with this is that they are pushing so much for basically everything to be a hate crime that the statistics just keep going up and up and up and up. And as the statistics keep going up, they're going to get more funding. So it appears that these laws have been lobbied in, and because of this lobbying, it is also expanding the definition of hate, and therefore expanding the statistics, and therefore expanding their budget. And obviously I don't think any of this should have anything to do with the police. They are there to protect rights and nothing else, in my idealised world, which obviously we do not have. So we have to deal with this clown world shit for now, so here we go. So, next graphic. What do I do if the abuse continues online even after I report it? Cue the old tweet saying, LMAO, imagine getting cyberbullied, just walk away from the screen. That is honestly what you should do if you cannot handle the internet. If this happens, then remove yourself from the platform on which the abuse was sent. Literally the tweet, often social media or online chat rooms. You'll have an officer in charge of your initial investigation once you have reported it. So in the event of further abuse, then please make the officer in charge of your investigation aware, and they will take details of the latest abuse and add it to the investigation. It's literally being snitchy. I mean, honestly, why does it need police involvement with this? Oh, I'm getting abused online. Oh, call the cyber police. And then they come along, ask the user if they've got a license for that hate crime, and then just add whatever's said to the investigation. It's ridiculous. Imagine police folders. Well, you don't even have to imagine. These probably exist. There are probably police folders full of mean tweets. Literally mean tweets. And people, unironically, have gone to court for these mean tweets. Someone went to court for liking a tweet because it was transphobic. But I'm sure we all know Harry the Owl. But things are just getting ramped up to 11 in this case. You say a bad word to someone in Liverpool online, odds are they've got a file on you. Unlucky Scousers, that's all I can say. So the final graphic I will go through says, what do I do if my child tells me that they're being bullied at school, and I think it might classify as a hate crime? I mean, honestly, I can't think of any time at school where police had to get involved for bullying. The only times I can think of were, well, they weren't at my school, but, you know, people bringing in knives and things like that to, you know, other schools. Like, I get getting the police in there, but, you know, for playground bullying, you know, name-calling and things like that? No way. Right, let's see what they say. Any hate-related incident of bullying should be reported both to the child's school and the police. It's literally going to the police if there is any type of abuse at school. That is ridiculous. Schools have a safeguarding lead and pastoral team who can investigate the bullying incident further so that the bully's parents can be informed and the incident can be resolved via the school's behaviour and anti-bullying policy. Why do you need any more than that? I mean, they don't really work anyway, but why do you need more than that? Similarly, if it is more appropriate, schools and police can and do work together to challenge and resolve hate-related bullying. This is often achieved by our hate crime coordinators delivering educational sessions that have been created to raise children's parents and teaching staff's awareness of what a hate crime is and the impact hate crimes can have on their victims. God, remember ages ago the South Park episode with Butt Out and all it did was made smoking cool? This is what these educational assemblies basically do. You can't just teach kids like that in an assembly saying, here's why hate crime bad, because they'll just take the piss. It's not going to work. Kids are incredibly cynical, and you need to be aware of that. And playground relationships are really complex as they are. There is nowhere else like that in the world. Socialising on a playground is a very unique thing in life, and, you know, when you grow older, you never quite have anything like it again. And I remember being a teenager, constantly abusing my friends, and they abused me. And what, if one day your black friend just takes it badly and wants to report to the police? I mean, is that it? Is that your life screwed over? Because now you have a hate incident on your permanent record? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Why do we need to get the police involved in this? And how have these activists taken over the police to get to this point? Those are my two questions. Because it's got to a point where it's just ridiculous. Thank God there was enough backlash on this for Merseyside police to offer another statement. That is here. So, Merseyside police statement from Superintendent Martin Earle. We would like to clarify that being offensive is not in itself an offence. Okay, but everything I have just gone through points in the other direction, that indeed being offensive is an offence, and if it's done at school, the police need to get involved with that at school as well, so great. A message on an ad van and social media this weekend by the local policing team on the Wirral to encourage people to report hate crime, although well intentioned, was incorrect, and we apologise for any confusion this may have caused. Hate crime is an offence, and it will not be tolerated. Hate crime can come in various guises and can include assault, criminal damage, verbal and written online abuse. Again, why do we need to add more crime onto crimes that already exist? Why is an assault that was intended not already bad enough? Why do we need to add, oh, it was an assault because the guy was black, because the guy was, gay or something like that? Why does it need to be added onto? They're already going to be punished. Our hate crime coordinators draw on a wealth of experience and expertise to provide effective and, above all, sensitive and appropriate support for victims. Fine, whatever. We would also like to remind people we have a number of third-party reporting centres, including fire stations and activity centres, which enable people who feel more comfortable discussing their issues with an independent party to come forward. Again, fine. If victims need this stuff, I'm totally fine with that. Even if it's for hate crimes. Because as far as I'm concerned, if you are a victim of an actual hate crime, fine, get all the support you need. If you are on the receiving end of abuse on Twitter, I would ask, where the hell am I supposed to go? Because I get a lot of tweets saying that I'm a white man and therefore bad. But clearly they've backpedaled here, and that is a good sign that maybe the police do realise they are going too far with this hate crime garbage. And just to give the police a little more credit in Merseyside, they do actually go through what a hate crime and hate incident is, as they do clearly define them as different things on the website. So a hate crime is defined as any criminal offence which is perceived by the victim or any other person to be motivated by hostility or prejudice, based on a person's race or perceived race, blah-de-blah-de-blah, you know the rest. So, again, that is still ridiculous and shouldn't be a thing, but at least it's not just, oh, if you are offending someone, that is a crime. As they say, a hate incident is any incident which the victim or anyone else thinks is based on someone's prejudice towards them based on their race, you know the rest. Not all hate incidents will amount to criminal offences, though that implies that some will, but it is equally important that these are reported and recorded by the police. Why exactly is yet to be discovered. And I know I preface that with to give the police a little more credit, but that is hardly giving them any. They are at least not treating non-crimes as crimes, when that's not even necessarily true, because they are treating them as crimes to the extent that they are recorded by the police. Why are incidents that are not crimes being recorded by the police? I think the answer comes in two reasons. One, it's so that the activist organisations lobbying within these institutions can then get the statistics they need to have the excuses they need to further their budget and their influence. And the second reason, which is a lot less sinister, is probably just to have there in case a person commits a crime, and then if it goes on to be a hate crime, they probably have incidents recorded where it shows where they may have prejudice. Which is still pretty sinister, if you ask me, and both of these things should absolutely not be happening, but this is just normal for the world of the UK now. If I was making this video a year or two ago, I would probably be shouting, going, why are you doing this? Getting really emotional about it, whereas just at this point, I'm like, well, this is Clown World, this is what I expect from my country. And I mean, my expectations were low, but holy fuck. Because I've known about hate crimes and hate incidents and the differences between them forever, but this is one of the most open times where the police have blurred the lines between them. And yeah, there was backlash, and yeah, the police had to backpedal a little bit. But ultimately, this line will continuously be blurred, up until the point where hate incidents are truly being commonly used as a reason to prosecute someone. So misgendering someone on Twitter could easily become an offence down the line. And exactly what the Tory party and Priti Patel in the Home Office are doing about this is not exactly a lot. However, they are battling a civil service that seems to hate their guts. Though at this point I am fed up of trying to defend them in any way. As I keep saying, I need a damn good reason to vote for them, and to constantly see these things happening under their rule really doesn't entice me to vote for them. But hey, maybe one day soon they'll do something, and maybe one day soon we can actually talk about things such as how the UK economy has improved so much that we now have space programs, and how we are going to colonise Mars and search the new frontier of space. Unfortunately, scientific advancement seems to take a back burner in the UK at the moment because we're spending all our money on investigating hate crimes and giving illegal immigrants 4-star hotels because they keep burning down our old barracks. But anyway, that is everything I had for you today, and I certainly hope I didn't just commit a hate incident. But anyway, as usual, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.